The richer got richer while most people received raised yet low wages. Therefore, most people could not afford goods, which greatly lowers the demand for consumer goods.
So lucky to be rich. Look at all this money.
So much bread. Me and my family are starving, but we don't have money. I don't have money to even buy this single bread.
People bought goods on credit. As the shopping multiplied, as it was encouraged by the government, so did the money they owed. In the end, people realized they owed more money than they can pay back. Debt was the major problem. Therefore, buying slowed down, and so did the economy. Go.
Wow, look at all this stuff. Oh my goodness, so much stuff. Ooh. Man, it's so good being rich. I'll pay for this later, it doesn't matter. $500? I only have $45. What am I going to feed my family with?
Now that much of America are in debt, there was less demands for consumer goods, costing less hours of work for farmers and industries due to the abundance of goods no one is purchasing.
I guess that's it for today for my work. Only 2 hours where I'm used to 8, and my wages goes down. I can't make any more crops with all of these crops around me. I have too much of an abundance. No one's gonna buy my crops. This is what happens. Life of farmers.
The US put high tariffs on their goods to protect their businesses and industries. However, countries could not pay back loans due to the debt policies US created. Even more money was subtracted.
Wait, why are you guys closing? I need my money.
The bank is closed. Can't you see the sign?
Many people such as I have lost their jobs and their homes. I don't even have a home for myself. And I have to make my new home out of all these wood and make a shack for myself and live alone with myself.
By 1932, about 500,000 of farmers have lost their land. Farmers were already making less and suffering to feed their family, yet the depression deepened as a long drought hit the Great Plains. The soil was already bad and exhausted due to overfarming. The big windstorm known as the Dust Bowl swiped the regions of Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas. The series of storms lasted from early 1930s to late 1930s, a record of 100 million of acres of farmland lost. The Depression put a huge problem in the way of living for families. Radio boomed because it was one of the few sources of entertainment. Members of the families, especially men, moved out to look for work to provide for their family or simply leave their family. Women tried hard to look for jobs, but a conflict arose that only men should work. Children suffered the hardest as they witnessed parental issues and experienced poverty. Most families lived in shanty towns and poor environments. Because of shortage of food, many children had poor diets leading to illness. Bread and soup lines were established by groups to help the poor. Government struggled to continuously provide aid and maintain schools for students, so programs in schools were forced to shut down. Rates of suicide greatly increased and caused a huge depression amongst humans. Discrimination and racism stirred up more emotions during the Great Depression. African and Latino Americans had the most difficult time living in America as whites expressed their hatred for them. They were less likely to get hired for jobs, so they had to work harder than the rest. Violence was also a big problem for them as white people didn't want to compete against minority groups for the limited jobs available in a horrible economy. Whites attacked African Americans and demanded that Latinos should be forced to go back to their home country. In the beginning, the government, especially Hoover, believed that the declining economy was going to fix its own, that they must not interfere with businesses. Hoover and his advisors believed that doing nothing would be the solution. The economy could eventually fix itself. Hoover also believed in rugged individualism, which stressed the idea that people could strive to success on their own solely on what they do to reach that goal. Despite all their beliefs, the economy continued to decline. People began to show their anger and disapproval towards Hoover. Hoover took some action by using the government to help the dying economy. He established a federal farm board which helped farmers stabilize surplus of cotton and grain. Another response to help the public was creating the National Credit Corporation, which secured banks with 500 million funds to the corporation. The Federal Home Loan Bank was passed to lower mortgage rates, which would help farms from foreclosure. Hoover also created Reconstruction Finance Corporation, which gave money to create jobs to people seeking employment, even to those unskilled, just to help them. People also responded with anger due to his lack of intelligent action to prevent the crash, but his beliefs was strictly put that he and the government must not interfere with the businesses and the economy. People continued to blame Hoover for the great mess and turmoil the nation was in. People lived a long decade of poverty and hardship due to the economy crash that affected jobs and their ways of living. Later of the years, Roosevelt, the hero, later wins the election by a landslide and presents new deals to help revive the country from the depression.